Good evening. The subject today is corporation soul. A corporation soul is a legal entity consisting of a single, sole, incorporated office, occupied by a single, sole person. A corporation soul is one of two types of corporation, the other being a corporation aggregate. This allows corporations, often religious corporations or Commonwealth governments, to pass without interval in time from one office holder to the next successor in office, giving the position legal continuity with subsequent office holders having identical powers to their predecessors. Ecclesiastical origins. Most corporations' soul are church-related. For example, the Archbishop of Canterbury. But some political offices of the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States are also corporations' soul. In the United Kingdom, for example, many of the Secretaries of State are corporations' soul. In contrast to a corporation soul, a corporation aggregate consists of two or more persons, typically run by a board of directors. Another difference is that corporations aggregate may have owners or stockholders, neither of which are a feature of a corporation soul. The concept of a corporation soul originated as a means for orderly transfer of ecclesiastical property, serving to keep the title within the denomination or religious society. In order to keep the religious property from being treated as the estate of the vicar of the church, the property was titled to the office of corporation soul, period. In the case of the Roman Catholic Church, ecclesiastical property is usually titled to the diocesan bishop, who serves in the office of the corporation soul. The Roman Catholic Church continues to use corporations soul in holding titles of property. As recently as 2002, it split a diocese in the U.S. state of California into many smaller corporations soul, and with each parish priest becoming his own corporation soul, thus limiting the diocese's liability. This is, however, not the case worldwide, and legal application varies from country to country. In the jurisdictions of England and Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland, a Roman Catholic bishop is not a corporation soul, and real property is held by way of land trusts. This position is largely due to the suppression of Roman Catholicism, which began in England with Henry VIII and the successful Reformation, and began later in Ireland with the penal laws. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, LDS Church, also uses the corporation soul for its president, which is legally listed as the corporation of the President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The form of a corporation soul form can serve the needs of a very small church or religious society as well as a large diocese. By reducing the complexity of the organization to a single office and its holder, the need for bylaws is eliminated, and the pastor of the church or overseer of the society is then not obliged to deal with a board of directors. Next heading, secular application. Every state of the United States recognizes corporation soul under common law, and 15 states have specific statutes that stipulate the conditions under which the state recognizes the corporation's soul that are filed with that state for acquiring, holding, and disposing of title for church and religious society property. Almost any religious society or church can qualify for filing as a corporation soul in these states. There can be no legal limitation to specific denominations. Therefore, a Buddhist temple or Jewish community center would qualify as quickly as a Christian church. Some states also recognize corporations sole for various other non-profit purposes, including performing arts groups, scientific research groups, educational institutions, and cemetery societies. Some lawyers consider the crown and right of each Commonwealth realm to be a corporation's soul, which may possess property as the monarch distinct from property he or she possesses personally, and may do acts as monarch distinguished from her or his personal acts. Elizabeth, too, has several corporations sole. Her Majesty the Queen in right of the United Kingdom, Her Majesty the Queen in right of Canada, Her Majesty the Queen in right of Australia, are all distinct corporations sole. Because Australia and Canada have federal systems of government, Elizabeth also has a distinct corporation sole for each of the Australian states and Canadian provinces. For example, Her Majesty the Queen in right of Queensland and Her Majesty the Queen in right of Alberta. And I'm not going to read all of them, but there's a list of corporations sole in the United Kingdom. And maybe I'll mention a few of these as they come to my attention here as interesting. Okay, Archbishop of Canterbury, first on the list, though I guess this is alphabetical. Archbishop of York, Bishops of the Church of England, the Crown, Deans of the Church of England. In London, the Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime, the Lord Mayor of London. Okay, corporations sole elsewhere, again kind of mentioned in the article, but here again, corporation of the President of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Minister of the Government, Republic of Ireland, Iglesia Ni Cristo, I know that's in the Philippines, Office of the Sovereign of Canada, and Governor General of Canada. That's the end of this article.